Hello and welcome. I'm here today to tell you all about doTERRA's brand new MetaPWR system. It is really quite revolutionary. It's also very scientific, so I'm going to do my best today to give you a great overview of the entire system, what it does, and a little bit how it works. I'll do my best to keep it short because I want you to just get the main key golden nuggets out of it. I want you to understand what the benefits are of using it. And I want to share a little bit of my personal experience with this because I have been trying this out for a few months. Here are some of the products. I will be sharing my screen with you in a minute and go through these different products one by one. But first, I briefly want to talk about your metabolism because it took me a while to fully understand what this system is all about. Obviously, it's called MetaPWR, as in metabolism. Your metabolism, boiled down to the most basic function, is the process of you eating food, drinking drinks, and then your body digesting that and absorbing the energy out of that, and then utilizing that energy as fuel for all of the vital processes in your body. For a long time, I thought I must have a great metabolism because I was never overweight in my life. I could always eat pretty much anything within reason, obviously. But I'm now learning that my metabolism is so much more than quote unquote just my weight. That is only one effect of the metabolism, but there's many more. I'll share with you in a moment. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the presentation and you'll be able to see this beautiful new package that doTERRA has brought out. Like I said, it's called MetaPWR. Meta as in metabolism. Power, PWR, it stands for power, but it also stands as an abbreviation for personal wellness realized, because this system is not just about having a healthy weight. It is about so much more. And the more I look into the science, the more I'm blown away with what they've created here. This has been in the making for about 10 years, we were told by doTERRA. So this is really cutting edge science. You can see the kit here, and there's multiple products. We will talk about each individual product in a minute. It does include a phenomenal collagen, which I think is the best on the market. And it also includes a herbal mixture and, of course, an essential oil blend. All right. I did speak about this briefly. I'll read this to you. So META stands for metabolic health, while PWR or PWR stands for personal health realized. MetaPWR is a system designed to optimize one's metabolic health. But what does metabolic health actually mean? Metabolic health means your body can digest and absorb nutrients from the food you eat without spikes in blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin. Having good metabolic health lowers your risk of challenges from metabolic imbalances, poor diet, high levels of stress, and a sedentary lifestyle all negatively impact metabolic health. Now, these are some of the examples of metabolic health. Look at this. It's quite varied, right? It goes from your appetite over your aging process, blood sugar levels, your brain health, cardio function, and lipids, as in like fats in your bloodstream, energy levels, hair, immunity, joints, metabolism, nails, muscle performance and tone, muscle recovery, skin, sleep, stress, and weight. Incredible, right? I had no idea that metabolic health impacts all of these areas of our well-being. And here it says, if metabolic health is the foundation of our overall health, what does a crack in that foundation look like? What are maybe some of the symptoms that we might be experiencing when our metabolic health is poor? Blood sugar imbalances, brittle hair and nails, achy joints and muscles, poor sleep, hormonal imbalances, low energy, high blood pressure, chronic inflammation, chronic disease. Have you ever heard someone say, well, this is all just a part of aging? And this is what I am starting to realize is not necessarily true. However, Our metabolism does slow down with age. In fact, as of the age of 25 is when our metabolism starts slowing down. And that is also when we start losing collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and it is a very vital building block of all of these areas, like our joints, like our nail, like our hair. Now, when we lose collagen and the metabolism slows down, guess what happens? We age. And I think none of us want to age rapidly. I think most of us want to do this as slowly and as gracefully and as healthily as we possibly can. Question: what dictates aging? And the answer is your DNA expression. Aging is, in fact, an identifiable process by which genetic expression starts to dictate cellular expression. Now, this sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So our health is not just based on the genes we have, so the DNA we have, but it is actually based on how this DNA expresses itself. If you remember high school biology, you would have seen how the double helix holds our DNA information, and how in order to reproduce things or cells in the body, our body has to read that DNA information. Now, when the body reads it perfectly, we get a good DNA expression. When it starts reading it faulty, then we start getting mistakes happening. And here it says these cellular changes result in the aging process. So then maybe the more important question is, can we actually influence age? And modern research says yes. And I love this little example. Here it says, what do we do when a goldfish starts to get sick? We change the water. We can work on our DNA expression in a very similar way by changing the environment our DNA bathes in. So if we can affect what's happening on the inside and outside of a cell, we can change its genetic expression. And this should get all of us very excited, because it means we're no longer just at the mercy of the aging process, but we can actually play a role within that process. And I think most of us know this. We know that diet and exercise and stress management and sleep and our social environment, that all of these things are playing a really big role. Here, the 4 key points of what these epigenetic factors, these environmental factors are that we can optimize and influence. Number 1 is nutrition. Obviously, what we eat matters. Number 2 is inflammatory response. Inflammation has a massive effect on aging. In fact, there is a new term, and it's called inflammaging, which describes the link between inflammation and aging. Blood sugar balance is a huge piece of the puzzle. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And mitochondrial function. Now, our mitochondria are the energy factories in our body. Every process in our body needs energy. So if our mitochondria are not working right and we don't have enough energy, the natural conclusion is our processes within the body are not going to happen well. So if we can optimize these 4 factors on a daily basis, we are able to take a proactive approach to aging, so that we're not just living longer, right? Because one factor is how long do we live? And the other factor is how well do we live, or how healthy do we live? My beautiful grandmother is in her 80s now. She is still alive, but arguably the quality of her life is very, very low because she needs constant medical assistance. So the idea is, we don't just want to increase our lifespan, we want to increase what's called our health span. So that is the number of years that we actually live independently and healthily and happily. I will very briefly talk about the topic of food, because that in itself is a really big topic, but we want to cover some of the bases. Most of the foods we eat today are laden with GMOs, pesticides, artificial coloring and flavoring, heavy metals, and more, all resulting in dirty fishbowl water, as in changing our internal environment. These foods have chemical messengers that tell our DNA to express aging. Wow, right? I was listening to a great podcast the other day, and a very knowledgeable doctor was asked, well, how do you teach people how to read the labels on their food when they go shopping so that they buy the right thing. And his answer was surprising and simple. And he said, if it has a label, it's not food. Let's think about that for a moment, right? So a few hundred years ago, no foods would have had labels. They would have been fruits and vegetables and meats and fats and things like yogurt and butter. You don't need a label for that. In our modern day and age, when things are packaged, there is some good packaged foods, but for the most part, when they're packaged, they are processed and they're not very full in nutrition, right? Here are some simple food tips. Number one, eat foods that rot. What does that mean? If you buy it and you can keep it on your shelf or in your cupboard for months, it's probably not very healthy unless it's rice or something like that. You should be eating foods that naturally rot. So that's fruits, vegetables, meats, and maybe some dairy products and clean dairy. Number two, go for clean protein like grass-fed, pasture-raised, and wild-caught. Number three, get 10 to 12 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, but mostly vegetables. This has to do with keeping our blood sugar in a healthy range, which I'll talk about in a minute more. And fruit is high in fructose. Fruit is not unhealthy, of course, but if we're having a lot of fruit, it means our blood sugar does spike as well. So we want to have more vegetables than fruits. And number four, very important and often misunderstood, eat healthy fats because fat doesn't make you fat. Sugar makes you fat. Eat healthy fats like avocado oil, olive oil, butter, ghee, and coconut oil, while avoiding inflammatory seed oils. So that's your canola oil, your rapeseed oil, even your safflower oil, sunflower oil. These are highly inflammatory for our body. You want to stay away from them. Nourish and bathe your cells in healthy fats. This, very briefly, is something that some of you already know about. This is called the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and it is doTERRA's actually #1 selling product. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee on this. It works so well that people who try it usually stick with it. And the idea is that we're supplementing our diet to fill in the gaps. I highly recommend this. I won't be talking at length about this today, but if you feel like you might be slightly deficient in minerals or vitamins or even fats, because it includes an essential oil omega complex, I highly recommend this, because the basis of our health is the nutrient levels within our bodies. But we're not here today to talk about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. We're here today to talk about MetaPWR. Now, MetaPWR, the entire system is based on an essential oil blend. And this is the Metabolic blend. And it is uniquely formulated with grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. Why these oils? What is so special about these oils? So doTERRA had a blend a while ago, which was known as Smart and Sassy, and that was already their metabolic blend, and it already worked really well. It was great to battle some cravings. So if you get sugar cravings or food cravings where you know they're not good for you, we would just drink that. Or if we wanted to lose some weight or get some energy, we would drink that. Now, doTERRA then took that same blend, took it to their lab and started experimenting with the amount. And it turns out in this new formulation that is now called MetaPWR, this thing does something extraordinary. Now, every single person has basically the same amount of fat cells. So a very overweight person, it's not that they have more fat cells, but their fat cells are full. They are mature. They are fat, so to speak, right? Someone who is a healthy weight, they still have the same amount of fat cells, but their fat cells are flat. They are slim, which is awesome because that means that when that person eats, their body and their metabolism is able to use what they've eaten as fuel instead of putting it down as fat. Now, this blend does something remarkable because it stops the growth of fat cells so that your body doesn't just put what you eat down as fat, but actually uses what you eat as fuel. How cool is that? So here are some of the ways you can use this. You can use it to curb cravings. So instead of when you're feeling like chocolate or something super sweet, just put a drop in your water and drink it. That is one of the ways you can use it. Most of the time, the craving goes away because the craving really only happens because either you haven't eaten enough healthy food and your body is actually hungry, or your blood sugar has crashed, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can also use this, so instead of just using it internally, you can use this topically. So this is great for everyone who's struggling with cellulite or struggling with, yeah, just their skin kind of being saggy and wanting to kind of tone up. You can use this for dry brushing. So you're putting it on a dry brush and just going over your entire body. Or here, you can use it in a body lotion for a cellular fire up. So to really get that blend into every cell of the body, to stop that maturation of fat cell and to help your body use the fuel and not just put it down as fat cells. This blend comes in 3 different versions. One is the pure oil, which you can put in water and drink. 2 is something called beadlets. If you've been with Doterra for a while, you know what this is. These are tiny, tiny capsules, and they include 1/4 of a drop. Now, a really great way to use this is to just put this in your mouth when you're feeling a craving, to bite down on it. The oil will go through your mouth. First of all, I find it tastes delicious. Second of all, it will help balance your blood sugar. So then usually as an effect of your balanced blood sugar, the craving goes away. They also have this as a soft gel. Now, a soft gel has 4 drops of the blend in it. It's significantly bigger than the beadlet I just showed you. And this is more for people who either really want to lose weight or who don't like the taste of the MetaPWR oil in their water. It is strong. I like it, like I said, but some people might like their water taste free. In America, they also have the MetaPWR blend in a chewing gum, which is a really great way to get over cravings in between meals. In Europe, they don't have that, and I'm not sure if this will come out in Australia. All right, now we're going to talk about blood sugar levels. And first of all, I want to read you this, which talks about blood sugar. And then we'll go into what this is. This is called MetaPWR Assist. And it's like our secret weapon in keeping our blood sugar stable. High levels of glucose, also known as sugar, and insulin in the body are truly what accelerates the aging process. Now, we can obviously do things within our lifestyle, but then we can use what Doterra has created additionally to support ourselves. So number one, we want to get rid of as much sugar in our diet as possible, especially things like high fructose corn syrup or anything on labels that ends in an O's. Fructose, glucose, OSE is always the ending for sugar. Opt for natural sugars like fruit or raw honey, and that, of course, in moderation. Number 3, manage your cravings with healthy fats and more protein, because often a craving means we're hungry, our body needs fuel. And take MetaPWR Metabolic Assist before, here it says your last meal of the day, but I would say before the biggest meal of the day. Now, your blood sugar levels are super important for your energy levels, for your mood, and like we said, for the aging process. Big spikes and big drops in blood sugar wear our bodies out. That's like driving a car and going full throttle on the gas and then pumping the brake and driving like that all the time. If you've ever had a car, you know if you drive like that, it wears the car out. Same thing goes for our bodies and for our blood sugar levels. So if you eat a meal, naturally afterwards, your blood sugar will spike. If you eat a meal that's very high in carbs, it will spike more. And after that spike, it will crash. Now, what happens when it crashes? We start feeling moody. We might start feeling hangry. We might start even feeling a little bit emotional or depressed. Our energy levels drops. We can't think clearly anymore. We can't focus. I know all of you have experienced this. I definitely have experienced this. For me, this system is a game changer because even though I was never overweight, I have had an issue with my blood sugar levels, more so that my blood sugar level would go low all the time, hypoglycemic. I would get very low. And then I'd constantly have to try and bring that blood sugar up, and that would lead to me snacking all the time, which snacking is not so great for our digestion. It's also not that great for our teeth because we constantly have food sitting on our teeth. Now, for me, this has been phenomenal. And what I've noticed is that my energy levels are through the roof these days, which I'm very excited about. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about blood sugar levels in a moment, but I want to briefly also talk about mitochondrial function. I said at the beginning that your mitochondria are your little energy factories. Here it says mitochondria are the powerhouse of our cells. Their job is to create ATP. I'm sure you've heard this before. This is the energy for our body to use. Now, if you don't have enough energy for all the processes in the body, you're not going to feel very good. And these messages get sent to your DNA and expresses that, yeah? Sick mitochondria means accelerated aging and disease in the body. As if it wasn't bad enough that we're going to feel tired and fatigued and grumpy, it will literally accelerate our aging and make us sick, right? We should all be paying attention. MetaPWR acts as a booster for mitochondrial function. And then down here, I spoke about the Lifelong Vitality Pack, where it says the Lifelong Vitality Pack provides a healthy foundation, whilst MetaPWR further optimizes and supports that foundation. They work synergistically together. So the ideal setup would be to take both, which is what I do. I take the Lifelong Vitality Pack and I take MetaPWR. However, I understand that that's not always possible for everyone, that there's a cost involved, right? So if you have to choose, it really depends on your needs. If you have a feeling that your metabolism is not working very well, you might want to choose MetaPWR. If you feel like you're deficient, you might want to choose the Lifelong Vitality Pack. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this mixture that Doterra created, which is called MetaPWR Assist. You can see the capsule here. This has 2 herbs in the capsule. It has the MetaPWR blend that I talked about at the beginning with the grapefruit, ginger, lemon, peppermint, and cinnamon, which we know stops the maturation of fat cells and gives your body an energy boost. Plus, it has 2 herbs, and those herbs are mulberry leaf and berberine. For those of you who like science, go ahead and Google berberine and mulberry leaf. There is lots and lots and lots of studies out there that show these 2 herbs balance your blood sugar. Now, what is this supplement designed to do? I like taking this before my biggest meal of the day, which often is my dinner, but sometimes is my lunch. And here is what it does. MetaPWR Assist turns fast carbs into slow carbs, reducing our mealtime blood sugar spikes. I'm going to translate that for you. So if you take this before a big bowl of pasta, you then eat the pasta, instead of having a massive blood sugar spike, which pasta would usually do because it's a fast carb, it's more even. Your body is able to then use that energy for longer, and you won't have the big spike and you won't have the big crash. So this balances your blood sugar. Here it says, when we experience constant spikes and crashes with our blood sugar, it contributes to poor cellular function, to cravings, to physical discomfort, weight gain, and more. When our blood sugar levels rise, the pancreas produces insulin. And in return, insulin then turns off fat burning. The higher your blood sugar levels, the less your body will burn fat, which seems counterintuitive, but that's what our bodies do. Then the question, do you prefer sugar burning or fat burning? And the answer is fat burning. We want to use that fat in our cells for fuel. Fat is a much better fuel for our body than sugar. Those of you who know anything about ketosis and the keto diet, you know that fat is the preferred energy for our body. We also call this the carb crusher. Yeah. Here's a crazy fact. Did you know that stress hormones like cortisol can raise blood sugar levels as well? Yes, it is true, even if we haven't eaten anything. So how we feel also can trigger a spike and then a crash in our blood sugar. Here it says, take Assist with your largest meal of the day. I would say if you can, take it a little bit before, 10, 15, 20 minutes before. Note that when taken with breakfast, Assist stabilizes energy for the rest of the day. And this is really where it comes down to, when do you eat a big meal? For example, I don't eat breakfast. I get up in the morning and I make myself something that's called a bulletproof. You might have heard of this. I don't actually drink a bulletproof coffee, but I drink a bulletproof hot chocolate. And that is then my breakfast. But if you do eat a big breakfast, you can take Assist right before your breakfast or even with your breakfast. For me, I take it either with lunch or with dinner. And I've noticed how much it stabilizes my blood sugar. You know how often when you eat a really big, heavy meal, afterwards you have to go lie down? Well, guess why? That's because your body does this spike and then this crash in your blood sugar. Take this, it will stabilize your blood sugar. All right, on to, in my opinion, the superstar of the system. I have it here as well. This is called MetaPWR Advantage. This is a powder. I have some left in my glass here. And this is full of incredible ingredients. Again, that blend that we talked about, the MetaPWR blend is in this as well. But then it has lots of other phenomenal ingredients. Number one, it has a highly absorbable collagen. We'll talk about collagen and its role in the body in a moment. Number two, maybe even more importantly, or definitely on par, is it has something that's called NMN, nicotine mononucleotide. So this is basically the precursor to something called NAD in our body. You don't have to fully understand what that means. Basically, what it means is that it brings energy into your cells. Remember how we talked about your mitochondria producing ATP as pure energy? Well, then NAD binds to that ATP and makes it deliverable so you can use that energy. This is so exciting because it means this combination ups our energy levels. I'm going to read this to you. Here it says, reverse the signs of aging from the inside out. It's time to connect your metabolic age to your biological age and close the gap. Advantage was created with optimal absorption and utilization of nutrients in mind, because many collagens out on the market, your body does not absorb. Outside, you may see more skin elasticity and firmness, while on the inside, Advantage supports cellular function in every system of the body, from connective function, cognitive function, lean muscle mass, joints, and tissues. Remember, on the outside, your skin reveals what's going on the inside. And the question is, how is Advantage actually different to other collagen brands? There's a lot of collagen out on the market, but not all are actually absorbable. Before I want to read you this, I do want to let you know that Doterra, and if you've been with Doterra for a while, you know this, Doterra always tried to do the highest quality in whatever they do, whether that is oils, whether that is supplements, whether that is skincare. Their pursuit is always for it to be pure and effective and healthy. Now, a lot of other companies don't have the same standards. So naturally, when they went about creating a collagen product, they set out to put the highest quality collagen product out on the market. Okay, so here's the comparison, the Doterra difference and other companies. A lot of other companies have bovine or pork, which can be tainted with glyphosate. Doterra sources their collagen, it's marine collagen, so it comes from fish, which is sustainably harvested in Italy. There is 9 specific types of tripeptide collagen. Tripeptide is important because it means it is already made bioavailable. If it is not made bioavailable, it will just go straight through. It needs to be a tripeptide for your body to be able to actually absorb it. So these, because it's 9 different types of collagen, not just one type of collagen. Often you'll find on collagen products, it will say type 1 and 2. Doterra has 9 different types of collagen. And these are very specific building blocks for all the different parts of your body. Some of them for your joints, some of them are for cognitive function, some of them are for cellular health, others for your hair and your skin and your nails. And so that then gives your body 12 times the absorption than a lot of other products. The problem is a lot of the collagen that you get is liquid and you just drink it. If you get an already liquid product, it means it is pasteurized, which then kills all of the other good things that are in there, right? Pasteurized always means killed off. Doterra's is in a powder, and you put it in water yourself and you drink it. So it's fresh, it's not pasteurized, which means your body can take it in. It is also only sweetened with stevia instead of other products being sweetened with sugar or juices. I will zoom through this a little bit quicker. If you really want to know more in depth about the ingredients of the collagen, I can send you some more information on that. Probably the most important part is that it's not just collagen. There's also a liposomal vitamin C in there. Vitamin C is important for your body to actually absorb collagen. There is hyaluronic acid in there. There is sea buckthorn in there. There is, like I said, NMN in there. And NMN we'll talk about more in a moment. It is, to be honest, my favorite part of this whole system. It has no emulsifiers. I already told you it's sweetened with stevia. It's more stable, non-liquid, and it's easy to take with you because you can just throw it in your bag and you don't have to worry about making it, like taking a big bottle or somehow preparing it. I think I read to you most of this. So like I said, it's a tripeptide form, which means it's already pre-digested. Most collagen is a hydrolyzed peptide, meaning the body has to digest it in order to use it. Additionally, the body is able to use tripeptides for specific functions in the body versus a hydrolyzed peptide. Yeah. So that means you can straight away, when you're taking this in, your body just goes and uses that in its specific areas instead of having to digest it. Here, it also contains, like I said, NMN, NADH, resveratrol, liposomal, vitamin C, sea buckthorn, enriched yeast, which is the delivery process, red orange fruit extract, hyaluronic acid, grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon bark oil. And these have all been put together synergistically so that your body takes this in and can use it straight away instead of it just going through you. Here's some facts about collagen for those of you who are new to the collagen craze. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. There are 28 different types of collagen that make up our bones, our skin, our nails, our cartilage, tendons, and so on and so forth. It's also really important for our brain health and for our cognition. And what I've noticed since I've started taking MetaPWR is I am able to focus again like when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I feel clear, I feel focused. I don't have that mama brain fog anymore that I literally had for years. Our production of collagen declines with age. Sadly, like I said, from the age of 25 onwards, that just goes down. I think we went through all of this, that it is highly absorbable and does specific jobs in the body. All right, we're coming towards the end, but I need to talk a little bit more about NAD. I said this before, NMN is what's in Advantage, and NMN is a precursor, as in like it comes a step before something called NAD. I'll read to you what that is, but I want you to know that when you take this, you are upping your NAD levels in your body, and this is literally a massive breakthrough. The only other way for you to get more NAD would be to get an infusion. Like you'd have to literally get an intravenous infusion. Your body has to make it itself. But if you give your body NMN, it can make more NAD. All right. What is NAD? It is the master molecule. Yeah. So ATP is what we have most of in our body. And then the second most abundant molecule in our body is NAD, but it declines with age. What is its role? It keeps your cells younger for longer. Like I said, it declines with age. It is absolutely necessary for life. Without NAD, we would literally die within seconds. Cells use NAD to produce energy and activate proteins that support healthy DNA. Signs of aging begin to appear at age 25. This is when NAD and also collagen begins to decline and metabolic function declines. NMN is a precursor to NAD and something you don't produce on your own. It fuels the body and helps improve levels of NAD rapidly. NMN works synergistically with resveratrol, which is also in this powder, to produce even better results. And it acts as an accelerator. Now, this is my favorite line, and I want you to really take note of this. This combo gets your cells to function like they are younger. This is the ultimate in anti-aging. Instead of just using a cream to make our wrinkles go away, or maybe even use things like Botox or fillers, which are highly toxic, we can take something in which makes our cells act as if they are younger, and then have the added benefits of all the other functions in the body functioning better. I think we all remember what it was like when we were teenagers and we could eat whatever we wanted, drink whatever we wanted, sleep like 4 hours a night and still be full of energy and look great and have great skin. This is what's at hand with this system. I'm so excited about this, and I hope I can somehow relay that to you. All right. I want to thank you for taking the time today to looking at this presentation. And I hope I could inspire you to look further and get started and reverse your metabolic aging. Like I said, I've been taking this for a few months now. I've noticed dramatic improvements in my energy, in my mood, in my hair, in my skin, in my nails, and then some really personal changes where I had a clicking in my left ankle for years. So I could tell there was some damage in my joint. That clicking has completely disappeared. I literally had this for years and years and years and years, thinking, okay, I will just have this for the rest of my life. So I can feel my body healing from the inside out. All right. I hope I could inspire you. If you want to know more, or if you're ready to purchase, then send me a message. Bye.